Polar bear. Bears are mammals in the Ursidae family, which consists of 8 species: polar bear, American black bear including spirit bears, Asian black bear, brown bear including grizzly bears, giant panda, spectacle bear, sun bear, sloth bear.
Hi guys, as the world's largest bear and largest land carnivore, polar bears are impressive mammals. Let's find out some interesting facts about that.
They are adapted to living in the harsh Arctic environment and threatened by climate change. Name. The scientific name of the polar bear is Ursus maritimus, which means sea bear. Polar bears spend their lives on the sea ice, hunting in the ocean and on the ice for food. Because of this, they are classified as marine mammals and are the only bear species classified like this. Appearance. Polar bears are stocky, with a long neck, relatively small head, short rounded ears and a short tail. The male, which is much larger than the female, weighs 410 to 720 kilograms, 900 to 1,600 pounds. It grows to about 1.6 meters, 5.3 feet tall at the shoulder, and 2.2 to 2.5 meters in length. The tail is 7 to 12 centimeters, 3 to 5 inches long. Sunlight can pass through the thick fur, its heat being absorbed by the bear's black skin. Under the skin is a layer of insulating fat. The broad feet have hairy soles to protect and insulate as well as facilitate movement across ice, as does the uneven skin on the soles of the feet, which helps to prevent slipping. Strong, sharp claws are also important for gaining traction, for digging through ice, and for killing prey. Diet. Ringed seals and bearded seals are a polar bear's main food source, but they have been known to scavenge on wild carcasses. In areas where there are human settlements, they sometimes scavenge on garbage. In a single sitting, the carnivore can eat 45 kilograms of blubber, but during months when prey is scarce, it can slow down its metabolism until more food is available. Using their amazing sense of smell, these efficient hunters can detect prey almost a kilometer away and nearly a meter below the compacted snow. They often wait by sealed breathing holes in the sea ice or at the edge of the sea ice for the seals to surface for air, at which point they attack. Polar bears aren't quick enough to catch seals in open water, so only 2% of polar bear hunts are actually successful. Reproduction. Female polar bears usually give birth to twins in winter, digging into deep snow drifts to create a den, which weigh around half a kilogram each and measure 30 centimeters in length. A single cub or triplets is uncommon. The pair of cubs will remain with their mother for the first 2 years of their lives before leaving to find their own territory. Hunting. Although about half of a polar bear's life is spent hunting for food, their hunts are rarely successful. Polar bears' main prey consists of ringed seals and bearded seals, though they will also scavenge carcasses or settle for small mammals, birds, eggs, and vegetation. Distribution. Home for polar bears is on the sea ice, where they hunt seals at the open lakes. Polar bears are found in 5 nations across the Arctic: the US, Alaska, Canada, Russia, Greenland, and Norway. It is difficult to estimate the global population of polar bears, as much of the range has been poorly studied. However, biologists use a working estimate of about 20,000 to 25,000 polar bears worldwide. The sea ice is vast and ever-changing. Because of this, a polar bear's home range can be enormous, far greater than any other species of bear. The size of a polar bear's range depends on 2 main factors: the quality of the sea ice and the availability of their seal prey. Life expectancy. Polar bears rarely live beyond 25 years. The oldest wild bears on record died at the age of 32, whereas the oldest captive was a female who died in 1991, aged 43. The causes of death in wild adult polar bears are poorly understood, as carcasses are rarely found in the species' frigid habitat. In the wild, old polar bears eventually become too weak to catch food and gradually starve to death. Polar bears injured in fights or accidents may either die from the injuries or become unable to hunt effectively, leading to starvation. Behavior. Unlike brown bears, polar bears are not territorial. Although stereotyped as being voraciously aggressive, they are normally cautious in confrontations and often choose to escape rather than fight. Satiated polar bears rarely attack humans unless severely provoked. However, due to their lack of prior human interaction, hungry polar bears are extremely unpredictable, fearless towards people, and are known to kill and sometimes eat humans. Many attacks by brown bears are the result of surprising the animal, which is not the case with the polar bear. Polar bears are stealth hunters, and the victim is often unaware of the bear's presence until the attack is underway. Whereas brown bears often maul a person and then leave, polar bear attacks are more likely to be predatory and are almost always fatal. However, due to the very small human population around the Arctic, such attacks are rare. Michio Hoshino, a Japanese wildlife photographer, was once pursued briefly by a hungry male polar bear in northern Alaska. According to Hoshio, the bear started running, but Hoshio made it to his truck. The bear was able to reach the truck and tore one of the doors off the truck before Hoshio was able to drive off. Interesting things about polar bear. These fearsome predators are both the world's largest bear species and the world's largest land carnivore. They mainly hunt bearded and ringed seals, but have been known to occasionally attempt to catch walruses, the world's largest seal species, as well as scavenging on dead animal carcasses such as whales and on garbage at human settlements. What color are polar bears? Although polar bears look white, their skin is actually black. The fur is translucent with a hollow core and appears white because it reflects visible light, which means they are camouflaged amongst the snow and ice. How big are polar bears? The polar bear is the largest land carnivore, and they're absolutely huge, measuring up to 3 meters in length. Although males can weigh between 410 kilograms and 720 kilograms, and females can weigh between 152 kilograms and 295 kilograms. Male polar bears can weigh up to 800 kilograms and are twice the size of females. This, in addition to the fact that they can measure up to 3 meters long, makes the polar bear the largest land carnivore in the world. How far can polar bears swim? Polar bears are able to swim for long distances and for many hours between sea ice, using their front paws, which are slightly webbed, as paddles and holding their hind legs flat to act as a rudder. They can reach speeds of up to 6 miles per hour in water. How do polar bears stay warm? Polar bears depend on their fur for insulation during harsh winters. Dirty, wet, and matted fur is less likely to keep the animals warm, so they wash it in the snow to keep it clean. They can smell their prey up to a kilometer away. Polar bears have a very strong sense of smell, which they use to find seal breathing holes in the ice. Once it has found a hole, the bear will wait patiently until the seal comes up for air to attack. They can even detect a seal in the water beneath a meter of compacted snow. There are as many as 19 subpopulations of polar bear. The total population of approximately 25,000 wild polar bears are divided into 19 units of subpopulations. Of these, just one subpopulation is increasing. 5 are stable, and 4 are in decline. The remaining 9 have not been assessed as they are data deficient. They face more threats than climate change. Polar bears are listed as vulnerable on the IUCN Red List, last assessed in 2015. Loss of Arctic sea ice due to climate change is the most serious threat to the animals throughout their range. While climate change remains the greatest threat to the polar bear survival, that is not all that the predator is up against. The oil and gas industry are turning its eyes to the Arctic, and with it comes the potential risk of habitat destruction from oil exploration work. Contact with oil spills can reduce the insulating effect of a bear's fur, requiring them to use more energy to get warm, and can poison them if ingested. Polar bears can also be exposed to toxic chemicals such as pesticides through their prey, which can affect a bear's biological functioning and ability to reproduce. Melting sea ice from climate change has increased human-polar bear conflicts. When hungry polar bears go searching for food in the summer, fortunately, people are learning to adapt to the polar bear's presence and take preventative measures to reduce the risk of conflict. Well adapted to the harshest environments. Polar bears are well adapted to survive in one of the harshest environments on our planet. As well as their thick fur, they have a layer of fat called blubber that insulates, protects their bodies from the frosty air and near freezing water. Polar bears also have black skin under their glistening coat, which helps them soak up the sun's rays and keep warm. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.